A dog emerges from the dark woods, dropping a human skull on the porch. Months later, the hound returns, carrying a human shin bone. Forensics confirm a grim match. Both belonged to a victim executed by gunfire. Desperate for answers, police slap a tracker on the dog. After a year of dead ends, the animal finally leads them to the shallow grave. The skeleton belonged to a missing neighbor from down the road. The body was found, but the killer? They're still out there. 3 kayakers paddled straight into a death trap. The river widened, the water slowed, and suddenly, they were surrounded by crocs. Dozens of massive reptiles slid off the banks, cutting off their escape. Desperate, one guy hurled his helmet into the water to create a splash distraction, buying them just enough time to paddle furiously toward the shore. They bunched their kayaks tight to look larger, the middle guy clinging to the formation for dear life. It wasn't enough. The water exploded. An 18-foot monster breached, snatched the American clean out of his seat, and dragged him under. Seconds later, his empty backpack and gear bobbed to the surface, floating downstream. The survivors scrambled onto the bank and found a nearby village. But all the locals' boats were dry docked. In broken English, a villager warned them, "Too many crocs. We never go in the water." They begged for a rescue boat, but it was suicide. All they could do was stand on a footbridge, watching their friend's belongings float away. And the ultimate tragedy, he wasn't even supposed to be on that trip. This guy visits a chimp and brings him a birthday cake, but the other chimps nearby are watching, thinking, "Where's my cake? This isn't fair." They get so consumed by jealousy that they actually break out of their enclosure. Once they're free, they brutally ambush the guy, tearing off his face, his hands, and his feet. It's a terrifyingly calculated attack. Chimps are incredibly smart. They know exactly what you need to function. They systematically target your fingers, your eyes, and your limbs. They aren't just trying to kill you. They're trying to strip away your humanity. If you try to hide your hands, they will rip them away and bite them off with pure, blind rage. Without language, they rely on a raw, primal sense of fairness. If you trigger their jealousy, you instantly become the enemy. Look, I know it sounds completely insane, but the megalodon is actually alive, and the data is becoming impossible to ignore. A deep-sea sonar specialist recently tracked a massive, high-speed signature near the Mariana Trench. It was far larger than any great white, a literal shadow moving through the abyss that no known species can explain. But the most terrifying evidence was a whale carcass found in the Pacific. It wasn't a typical shark attack. It looked like an execution. The bite marks were so massive and precise. A single devastating snap had severed the giant animal clean in half. No predator on record has that kind of sheer force. We only know a fraction of the deep ocean. These isolated trenches are the perfect sanctuary. We assume they're extinct because we can't see them, but the king of the sea hasn't disappeared. It just evolved to thrive where humanity cannot follow.